Hi and welcome to another narration presented by yours truly, Cryptids Roost. Please be so kind as to throat punch the like button and smack the ass of the subscription button as well. And remember to tap that notification bell and then select all. That way you'll receive all notifications each time I upload a new video. So grab your coffee, sit back and enjoy the show. And don't forget, where fear is, happiness is not. Souls-like, Part 2, Second Cycle. This awesome series is written by cesly1987. The cycle repeated over and over and over. I'd wake up in the basement, make little progress, just be murdered, over and over. The concept of time faded as my suffering grew within this cruel game. Last I counted was cycle 452, and that was a long time ago. I will have to admit I gave up for a while. The cycle broke me. I would just sit in the basement, unresponsive to my surroundings, ignoring Jenny's questions, until the giant freak would find me. The first dozen times he went straight for the kill, whacking me right across my head with a plethora of different weapons. Usually something new every time he came in. That wasn't so bad. It was almost peaceful. I used that time to clear my mind. I got so good I could block out everything, even block out my nagging wife. Since I couldn't sleep, I used the times in the quiet basement to think, before he would storm in and murder me, but he got wise to my plan. He wouldn't go for the kill. He would torture Jenny. He would pull her apart and let me listen to her screams. I would try to shut them out. It was only temporary. The cycle would reset and she would be fine again. Then he started torturing me. He would bring a bag full of tools to cause me pain. This had more of an effect on me. How selfish was I to put Jenny through this when I couldn't handle it? And then there was the insistent ponderings of the suit-wearing devil. Every time I died, he took me into the foggy purgatory before the cycle repeated. He told me the tragic story of his unlife, how the day of judgment awaited him and his kind at the end of time. The devil expressed his abject horror at this, so he used his powers to reverse time as much as he could. But alas, time still ticked forward, slowly but surely. When I went into my state of depression, just sitting there doing nothing, he didn't react at first. He said a lot of his playthings hit this wall at some point, but when I refused to snap out of it for cycles, he told me lack of activity would forfeit my soul.
This has happened to a couple of my playthings too,
he chided at me.
There are more ways to agree to defeat than just giving verbal confirmation. I had one plaything who would take his life every cycle, used a bag to suffocate himself.
These words took a while to breach the fog in my brain. Wait, the Nemesis was another player? I asked.
Oh yes, very much so. I'm not as cruel as my brethren though. Just like you have a chance to escape, he still has one.
How? I almost screamed. The devil smiled and put his hand over his mouth.
I only give players information, not quitters.
Then I'll play! I yelled at him. A warm smile washed over his pointy face, and he let out a relieved sigh.
Oh good, good. Just remember, please do better this time.
The cycle restarted and I sat up straight. I immediately grabbed a set of handcuffs I had acquired from one of my cycles and scooted to an unconscious Jenny. I cuffed her hand to a metal pole running down the middle of the room. She was now in a long robe I had found for her, but I couldn't have her following me. I stood up and ran to the trick wall I had discovered in the basement. I pushed it open to reveal a short set of stairs leading up into the night sky. As I took the first step, I heard Jenny call after me. I ignored her. I stepped out into the estate property and looked around. I had the entire estate mapped out in my head. The chapel held the green key, which unlocked the graveyard. The graveyard held the blue key, which led to the cellar of the giant manor. The manor held the black key, which led into an actual manor, and I hoped the manor held the scarlet key, my chance to escape. I began to sprint through the cellar of the mansion at the middle of everything. I wore a pair of overalls with a utility belt with a crossbow and knapsack over my shoulder. I was still barefoot. None of the shoes I scavenged fit me. Like clockwork, the Rottweiler caught my scent and came barreling out of the bushes of the house. I had wrapped straps of leather around my left arm. I bent low and offered the dog my arm. He bit down on it and tried to shake me off my feet. Like a million times before, I pulled a K-bar knife from my pocket and jammed it up through the dog's head. The dog whimpered and convulsed. I had felt terrible the first time I had done it, worse than having to kill humans. But now I felt nothing, just cold. I slung the dog off to fall dead to the ground and began walking to the cellar doors. I flung them back to release the same bats that always escaped into the night sky. The stairs went down into darkness. I ignored the torch on the wall. I had found a flashlight already. The flashlight did little to show the way down the 40-foot descent. It didn't matter, I knew the way through the wine cellar maze. I turned the corners and dodged its traps. I walked right up to cultists hiding in wait to kill me, only to kill them with brutal efficiency. The first one always jumped down from behind me with a fearsome yell. I would quick turn and put my K-bar in his neck before he could lift his heavy axe. The next one would wait for me to pass a dark alcove between the shelves before shooting me in the back with a crossbow. I snuck up to reach through the shelves behind her and grab her by her throat to knife her too. I knew how to avoid the other 5 hiding in the dark. Then I would come to the door that led up into the house. 2 big bastards guarded it. I had fought them enough to learn who was the slower of the 2. My crossbow zips right into the middle of the quicker one's dark hoodie, and he collapses like a sack of bricks. The slower one pulls a sharp hand scythe from his robes to meet my charge. I scream his name at him, "Teddy!" He freezes for an instant for me to slice across his weapon hand. He drops the scythe with a yelp and steps back. Too late. I'm inside his reach and slash him across the throat with a brutal swipe. He dies quicker than usually. It must be because I'm angry. I run up to the locked door and produce the black key from my knapsack and open the door into the manor. It gets harder from here, like cultists in armour with poisoned knives. Maybe I could unlock the front door to the manor and save myself the trip through the cellar. A thunderous explosion erupts behind me. I turn to see the giant, with overalls and a plastic bag tied over his face, storming through a destroyed wine rack he just busted through. He delivers a crushing fist to the centre of my chest, sending me busting through the unlocked door. I struggle for breath as he stalks up to stand over me. I dig the K-bar into his foot. He let out a grunt of anger and reaches down to seize me by the neck and yank me up to eye level. "Kill me, you son of a bitch!" I wheeze at him, the sack on his face expanding and deflating rapidly with his angry huffing. "I'm never gonna give up like you, sack boy!" I spit. This makes him mad. He reaches up and puts his nasty hand around my mouth and with a jerk painfully snaps my head to the side. I awake in the basement. Damn it, time to try again. I use the next couple of cycles mapping out the manor. I do unlock the front door eventually and get a sweet shortcut past the cellar. I kill a bastard with full plate armour. Now I'm wearing partial plate armour to not slow me down. Somehow the giant is in the manor now. He must have a skeleton key. I don't know how he bypasses all the locked doors. I can't outmaneuver him. He cheats so bad. He cheats! Maybe I should cheat. I go back into a meditation for a couple of cycles. Jenny screams at me from her handcuffed position, but I ignore her and plan. When the giant asshole finds me, I don't give him the satisfaction of an easy kill. I taunt him about his plastic sack. I taunt him about how he gave up and I'm still going. He makes me pay for it. but I take a piece out of him each time. I never kill him, but I make him bleed. I learn his tactics. I seek him out and I go straight for him. Finally, when I think I've seen every move and counter, I prepare to enact my plan. If I open the gate door, I'm free, right? I ask the devil in the purgatory between cycles. He turns to me, curious.
Yes, Terence. Those are the rules.
I mean, no BS. I don't need the key. I just need to get through. The devil laughs.
Sure, my boy. But you know it's electrified. You can't climb it.
I need your word, I yell at him. I just need to get through the scarlet door. A sly look crosses the devil's face.
You have my word. I dare say you have my attention. The fire in your eyes is delicious.
Let's restart the cycle, I say, cutting him off. He harumphs at me and waves for the next cycle to repeat. When I was a kid, my father had a chess game on the family computer. He taught me to play, and I could make progress against the enemy AI when it was set to very easy. I would challenge myself by playing against the computer when it was set to expert. I wouldn't make it more than 5 turns before I was defeated. No matter how hard I tried, the AI knew all my moves in advance. You see, it was programmed to react to well thought out and measured moves. But I discovered I could last a lot longer if I randomly placed a piece every other turn. The computer would try to make sense out of nonsense. It would throw its whole plan off. That's where the AI failed. It didn't account for random human stupidity. It had plans and counter plans for everything, but not for a 10-year-old boy having fun. I needed to start having fun. Don't forget, if you enjoyed that story, be sure to pop over to the author's Reddit profile and drop them a line, or even give them a glowing review. I'm sure they really would appreciate it. The link to their Reddit profile will be below in the description. Please be so kind as to throat punch the like button and smack the ass of the subscription button as well. And remember to tap the notification bell and then select all. That way you'll receive all notifications each time I upload a new video. Oh, and don't forget to share the video far and wide. This will all help with YouTube's algorithm and will help to promote this channel more. And don't forget to check out the merch store. The link will be in the description and also in the video thumbnail. And if you would like an honourable mention, send in a snapshot of yourself with your purchase and I'll feature it in one of the videos. I now have my very own subreddit community where you can submit any stories you've written. You can submit your stories or encounters either there or send them to cryptidsroost@gmail.com. If you wish to remain anonymous, that's fine with me. All the links are below. I also have a Facebook group, Twitter, Reddit, and you'll also find me on Discord. If you would like to support this channel and help make it grow, my PayPal is paypal.me/cryptidsroost. Again, that will also be below. And don't forget, where fear is, happiness is not.